it's this guy here for the tch'n Report. I'm sure everybody knows by now that Julian Assange has been sold out by the Ecuadorian government for a $6 billion IMF bribe. That's the power of the United States. We're going to bribe you to do what we need you to do. But what you probably didn't know was an hour before Julian Assange hit the mainstream headlines, there was a coup in Sudan. An American-backed coup in Sudan. I believe Julian Assange's arrest was to keep this American coup out of the mainstream headlines for a little while. Now, these coups are not happening on their own, organically. There are these groups of people that are funded by mostly the United States. And we train these people to go stir up shit in their countries so they can be overthrown. Pause and read some of these things and get yourself acquainted with what these organizations do. They all sound really flowery. But underneath it all, you can surmise that they use force and violence, coercion, protests. If you guys haven't seen my videos on the Venezuela coup, go check those out, especially the coup d'etat, the manual. You will see exactly what is going on. It's exactly what happened in Sudan. So why do I say that this is a U.S.-backed coup d'etat? This is General Wesley Clark. Listen to what he has to say.
Because I'd been through the Pentagon right after 9/11. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me." And I saw him a year or so ago, and I said, "You remember that?" He said, "Sir, I didn't show you that memo. I didn't show it."
So who's going to be next? Spin the wheel. These organizations are not going to go away. They are not for the benefit of the general population of the countries that they are involved with. These are the kind of corporations, these are the kind of institutions that George Soros funds. Everybody's heard of the Color Revolution? You heard of the Color Revolutions? Funded by George Soros? Read this stuff right here. You will be shocked at what they actually say. If you've never thought that you've been manipulated, there's no social engineering going on, you're behind. You need to catch up. The United States is not the same country that I grew up with. And it's because we do not speak out. Liberty is dying. We need to start paying attention. It's going to be coming to the United States anytime now. So I'll keep you guys up to speed on what's going on. You make sure you subscribe. Definitely hit that bell. Get yourself notified. For the tch'n Report, I'm this guy here, bringing you the information you need to be an informed human being. Stay safe, everybody.